Welcome to Facebook Live. This is Trainer Joe. Today we're talking about the reason you don't exercise. I'm going to tell you the reason you don't exercise. It's because of unbelief. That is why you don't exercise regularly. Behind every self-destructive thing you do is a lie that you believe. I think I first heard that from a friend of mine, Bill Reeser. And he says it all the time, and as I think about it, he's right. Not exercising is self-destructive. Research out of Cleveland Clinic with over 100,000 people showed that not exercising enough is worse than smoking. It's self-destructive. You don't believe that deeply enough, so you don't exercise regularly. You don't believe it's worth it enough to take 20 minutes and go for a walk because it's going to mean you got to take 20 minutes from something else. So you don't do it. It doesn't get done. We do that in lots of areas, right? You're either going to justify taking the time to do it or you're not. Why don't you justify it? Because of what you believe about your life. What deserves your time. Because for you to take 20 or 30 minutes or an hour to exercise, you're going to have to not do something else you're doing. And so far, you've not become convinced that that's worth doing. You don't believe that it's worth it. A lady came up to me at a diabetes expo 2 years ago and she said, I think I'd like to do your plan. I'm diabetic and it would really be good. I've heard about you. But the only thing is, if it requires any exercise, I wouldn't have time to do that. And I thought, well, welcome to the Diabetic Expo. Most diabetics are diabetics because of the way they believe about eating and exercise. Until you train your thinking, you're not going to be convinced. It's not going to make sense for you to take the time to exercise. There's a scripture that says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It doesn't say you're going to be transformed by starting to exercise. The transformation has to occur in your thinking first. I hear people all the time say, I know what to do, as if that means anything. What's that worth, you knowing what to do? I had one lady paying good money to do my program early on when I was doing a lot of individual programs, and she was paying good money. She wanted to lose some weight. She wanted some help. And one day she said she was at work and she was eating this healthy meal and excited that she was losing weight. And this guy came up to her and he said, well, I could have told you what to do and you wouldn't have had to spend all that money. Well, that guy was fat. What good is it doing to know what to do if you haven't yet been trained to do it? And I have no problem with somebody that's overweight. I got lots of friends and relatives that were very close. I love them deeply. But I tell you, two people not to take weight loss advice from. Somebody that's overweight and not losing, or somebody that does cocaine on a regular basis. Don't listen to them. People will tell me, if only I had time to exercise. You're believing a lie because you have as much time in the day as the busiest person that's finding time to exercise. I don't mean to be insensitive about it, but let's be honest. Just when you start being honest with yourself, you'll find I'm just choosing not to exercise because it's not a priority. It's nothing about you can't. It's not about your self-discipline. It's not about your health. It's about your belief. It's your unbelief that keeps you from getting out of the bed and going for a walk or to the gym. It's not your finances. Renewing of your mind, not the exercise of the body. The exercise of the body will follow the renewing or the training of your mind. Last night at one of our groups, we were talking about the need to train. Have you ever seen a regular dude get mad and he's ready to fight somebody and it just happens to be a trained boxer that he's going to fight? He doesn't know it, but this guy was a Golden Glove, 5 years ago or something like that. It ain't going to be pretty because that guy's been trained. He's going to knock you out If you're not willing to train your thinking, you're never going to justify exercising. Well, only vain people exercise. Okay, you're believing that. There's plenty of vain people that exercise. But if that's going to keep you from doing it, you're believing a lie that's keeping you. You might as well smoke if you're not going to exercise. Well, why spend the money on the shoes I have to get or the equipment I'd have to get? You're believing a lie. It doesn't take any money to start an exercise routine. I was talking to a buddy today. He said, hey, I need to figure out a program I can do when I'm traveling. He travels a lot. I showed him a routine he can do without ever leaving his hotel room and taking no equipment with him. Quit with the lies that you're telling yourself, that you're believing, that keeps you from exercising. Knowing is different than being trained. I don't care what you know. How much is that helping you? What is it worth, you knowing how or you knowing what to do? How much is that getting you? Nothing if you're not doing it. If I sound angry, it's just because I haven't learned yet how to calm it down when I'm trying to make my point here. It's your belief. It's your unbelief that keeps you from exercising. Begin to agree with that truth, and you're more likely to get things fixed. Well, I've got health problems. All the more reason then that you should be exercising. Find what you can do. All right. Until you train your thinking, it's never going to make sense. And I've got a way to help you do that. I've got a free program coming up August 1st, Thursday at 6:30, August 1st, Strong Shop Fitness, free to do exactly what we're talking about. Get your head fixed. Your stinking thinking is messing you up. And we'll help you with that. Thursday, August 1st, Strong Shop. Deborah will post it under the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's train our brain and transform our bodies.